Hello YouTube, it's StrongMonk74 here, and I'm just bringing you a quick little video, and this is all about the demo class, how I play it, what gun I use, and that sort of thing. So first off, here's a gun. It's the AKS 74U, iron sights, longest barrel, muzzle, the receiver group you saw, which is again for range, magazine, paint job. There you go. So let's go on with the review. So basically, luckily for me, I love heavy gunner, and for me that means demos not too bad, because really they move around about the same, and for me anyway, the play style is roughly the same. So with heavy gunning, I will sprint from cover to cover, or I'll sprint to try and get to one place, but once I'm there, I'm generally moving around. I'm not sprinting around, I'm just moving around nice and slow. I'm letting the enemy come to me, basically. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to let the enemy come to me. You're not the quickest player, neither of these classes. It means you're just not that mobile, you're not that agile. Everyone else more or less on that field is going to be so much quicker, so much more agile than you. So you've got to try and play to your strengths. And with demo, especially the weapon setup, because I'm using this AKS, I'm not using the AA12 fully automatic shotgun. To me, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who use that weapon, but like for me anyway, unfortunately the 870 for one has kind of put a dampener on all shotguns. I didn't like shotguns in BF3. I'm just generally not a big fan of shotguns, because if you ask me, they don't take that much skill to use. They're kind of like point, and they've got a very big arc. And the AA12 kind of is even worse. It seems to have huge range for a shotgun. It's fully automatic, and I don't know. I find it a little bit cheap, to be honest, to use that weapon. So I try not to use it too much. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there who are going to hate me for saying that, but that's just my opinion. That's just how I like to play. I don't like using it too much. But the class itself, I haven't played it as much as maybe I should really. But you'll also notice one other thing on this review is I'm trying to stick with. I'm not doing a hotspot review. Now I know demo obviously is one of its biggest strengths is it can defuse and arm bomb sites really quick. So you'd think do it on hotspot. The thing is, I'm a sector control player. I generally play sector control. That's the game mode I love. That's the one I play the most. And I just thought, all my other reviews are with me playing sector control. It'd just be wrong for me to go and just switch it out for one class. So I wanted to get used to it. I wanted to play this class as I would, play this class playing the game mode that I play. Normally, I didn't want to seem like I was being cheap, trying to get like a good review just by playing a game mode that suits one particular class. So that's why I kind of start with this. But yeah, no, the weapon itself, the AKS. I'll come back to that in a second. Right now, all I'm doing is I am cooking more or less this remote charge. Now, if you're not too familiar with the demo class, or you haven't played that much, cooking this thing basically means you can lob it quite far. So as you can see, like most times, you wouldn't be able to throw that charge that far if you just whipped it out and went to throw it. It'd go a few feet in front of you, and that's it. If you want to get a nice decent throw on it, you want to get it to go quite a distance, what you need to do is you need to cook it like you would a grenade. Just sit there holding the button, cooking it. I think there's a max distance it will get to. You can't cook it endlessly. Well, you can cook it endlessly, but it's not going to go any further than a certain distance after a while. So once you've played the class a little while, you'll kind of get used to, or you'll get to know how long to hold it down for, how long to cook it for, before you've reached its max range. And yeah, I think that's it. It's a great tip. I didn't learn that for ages whilst playing this class, and it is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely think, if you haven't got used to that, if you weren't aware of that, honestly, start using it, because it does allow. It gives you. It's so lethal, especially if you can see on the map, people are starting to sort of like group up, stack themselves up. The enemy is starting to stack themselves up in one particular area. It's absolutely awesome for you to be able to do that. I have to. The other thing I have to say is the 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 score streaks you get with demo class. They are probably the most fun score streaks you in the game. You know, there's no other class that has the kind of score streaks this does, and you know this is another one. It's such fun. It's devastating, but it can be equally frustrating. You know, it drops quite quickly. I'm still learning about the drop on that. But it's absolutely devastating. That particular score streak, which the name I have forgotten right now. I think I can't remember. You know what? I can't remember what it's called. I'll come back to that in a second. But for the life of me, I can't remember what that's called right now. The weapon itself, the AKS-74U, I love this weapon for the demo class. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It suits my playstyle. That's what it does. It suits my playstyle down to the ground. It's probably, apart from possibly the AA-12, if you've got it set up right, it's got probably the furthest range, the furthest distance, the max effective range for engagement. With the iron sights, again, like with all other classes I've said in so many reviews now of weapon classes, it really does help with the recoil. It's got a bit of a kick, this one, especially if you're trying to engage at any sort of range. But with the iron sights, that makes that recoil so much more bearable, or manageable. Sorry. And it's absolutely devastating, especially at mid-range. You know, at mid-range, this gun is lethal. It really does seem to do some serious damage, and it's so easy. I think you get 30 rounds per clip, and it's so easy to take down multiple targets. You know, 2-3 targets, you'll be all right with. You can easily take them down. You know, that guy there, I'm fairly sure would take some damage already. So, you know, don't take that as being, you know, a one-shot kill or anything like that. It's not that sort of a weapon. But it is lethal at sort of like mid-range, and it can do a lot of damage. If again, like all weapons in Warfire, if you just aim a little bit high, you know, it's it'll do the damage that you need it to. You know, and one right there, that's one of the things I love about this class. You know, the more you play it, and the more you get used to those score streaks, they're powerful score streaks, but you know, if you use them at the right time, they seem almost overpowered, and that's one of those things. That little clip back there when, you know, that sniper was like nicely tucked up in a building there. It's so handy to be able to use these score streaks, because this class is slow. It does sometimes mean getting around the map and defending your sectors or your bomb sites, whatever game mode you're playing. Defending your area, defending the area that you want to defend can be tricky. It can be real tricky, purely from the fact this class is so slow by comparison to other classes that getting around it's quite slow. And here's a prime example of what I mean. So. You know, I've got the little sort of like you know, grenade launchers type thing here. I can't remember exactly what it's called again. The s'more, sorry. You know, and I know I'm never going to get down to that flag in time for me to defend it. But I know the small missile can. So, you know, if I use it at the right time, it allows me, you know, it means that I don't have to worry about not being that agile, not being that quick around the map. I can still be effective, even in game mode like sector control, you know, where, you know, the thing with sector control is, and playing a class like this is, the flags and stuff are quite spread out, so the action starts getting quite spread out, you know, unless you're on a good team and you know, you're able to hold the points, the choke points, you're able to hold your flags and defend them. It gets quite tricky, you know, moving around that map. So with a class like this slow, you really want to be pushing them, using the perks, the score streaks that you get. You really want to be using them effectively at the right time. You know, and you can see from here, you know, all the enemies coming out. I've got the M32. I could, if I wanted to, use it, but at the moment they're coming out one at a time. They're coming well within range of my primary weapon. There's absolutely no need for me to use the M32 right now. You know, they're not hiding around corners. There's not multiple targets. It's quite easy for me to pick them off. Right now I can see on my mini map and what I can see right in front of me now, I can see I'm starting to get multiple targets. They're starting to use a bit of cover, hide hide around corners and stuff. So that to me was the time to use it. You know, if I hadn't used it, then possibly I could have got overrun, or at the very least 1 or 2 could have made it through there. So that was, for me, that was the time for me to use it. Again here, I'll just make sure the portal's clear. I'll try and deal with a couple of guys. My teammates help me out, so now I know I can bring out the small. I know, you know, as always, there's a sniper up there, so let's get rid of the sniper, make it a little bit easier for us to try and get hold of that south sector. There's a guy just hiding around the crates there, but my primary weapon again probably wouldn't have dealt with. So I try and use my score streaks, and they are powerful score streaks, but they're only powerful if you kind of use them at the right time. Especially in this game mode, because with sector control, the action, where the action is, where the enemy are, it can change very rapidly. All it takes is like for 1 or 2 people to like get a sector behind you, and all of a sudden you can easily be flanked. And then if you're not on a bad team as well, you know, all of a sudden, you know, half it or more than half your team turn around, start charging back up to try and cap the sector that we've just lost. It can leave you really exposed. So, you know, there's loads of variables in sector control, and I think that's probably one of the reasons you don't see demo being used too much in sector control. At least I haven't seen demo being used too much in sector control. You know, it's obviously used quite extensively in Hotspot, but sector control, I don't see it being used that much. And you know, I'm quite lucky. I kind of didn't have too much of a learning curve with regards to the speed and agility that you need for this class, because you know, heavy gun is my favourite, and you know, it's very similar in that point, from that point of view. Anyway, that's me. I'm done. I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.